Before the village wakes up, everything is still quiet. I can hear birds in the trees. Sometimes the wind moving through the bamboo. That's usually it, and this quiet way of life is one reason I've chosen to stay here, while many others have left. I live in a small village in rural Vietnam. The roads are quiet. People still know their neighbors, and nature part of everyday life. Hi everyone, my name is Linh. I'm 30-year-old. I've spent most of my life in places like this. Over the years, I've watched many things change. New roads appeared. More people moved to the cities, and village life slowly became different from what I remember as a child. Yet despite those changes, I've never felt a strong desire to leave. This is Lucky, the corgi who has been keeping me company during my days in the countryside. He really enjoys exercising with me, especially on peaceful mornings when we run together along the familiar village road. Mornings in the countryside feel so gentle. There is no traffic jam, no crowded vehicles, and no one rushing past each other. Just fresh air and a quiet kind of peace. Along the way, we pass by a dog guarding a house. After finishing my morning exercise, I went back home for a little while, and then I headed to the market. In the countryside, markets usually open in the morning. They are not as big as the markets in the city, but they still have almost everything people need for a normal day. Fresh vegetables, meat, fish, eggs, tofu, and familiar breakfast foods like steamed rice rolls, sticky rice, noodle soup, and pho. A morning at a countryside market always has its own special feeling. People are not in too much of a rush, but everyone is busy in their own way. Sellers weigh vegetables while chatting with customers. People who come to the market often stop for a moment when they see someone they know, just to ask a few simple questions. Some of the vendors have been selling here for many years. They know their regular customers so well that sometimes, just by looking at them, they already know what they want to buy. I often like going to the market at this time of day. The air is still cool. The sun is not too strong yet, and everything looks fresh. Bunches of vegetables that were just picked from the garden, fish still moving in small tubs of water, the sound of knives on chopping boards, people calling out to each other, and motorbikes slowly passing through the narrow paths. All of these sounds create something very familiar in the countryside of Vietnam. A normal morning, a few simple things, a few greetings with familiar faces. That is all, but somehow it makes the beginning of the day feel gentler. Today, I bought a few eggs and a little pork to cook lunch. I did not need to prepare anything special. For me, simple meals like this are sometimes what make life in the countryside feel most comfortable. I also didn't forget to buy some pumpkin for Lucky, my corgi friend. He really loves it. After buying what I needed, I slowly walked back home. By then, The village road had already started to fill with sunlight. Another new day in the countryside continued, ordinary, quiet, but still something worth appreciating. A kind neighbor just gave me some fresh lolot leaves. I'm going to fry them with eggs for a simple lunch today. This is my small kitchen. Everything here is quite simple. There is a chest-style fridge placed against the wall, an old table where I keep the electric stove, the rice cooker, and a few small things I need for everyday cooking. This kitchen is not big or modern, but for me, it is enough. Here, I can prepare simple meals for myself after a normal morning in the countryside. Today, I will cook rice and make a few simple dishes for lunch. First, I rinse the rice and put it into the rice cooker. This is a very familiar thing in most Vietnamese kitchens. Just some rice, a little water, and then I wait for it to cook. While waiting for the rice, I wash the meat I bought at the market. Lunch today does not need to be complicated, so I will simply boil the meat. After washing it, I put it into a pot. Add some water. And place it on the stove. Next, I wash the lolot loaves that a kind neighbor just gave me. When the water starts to boil, the small kitchen slowly fills with the familiar smell of a home-cooked meal. The leaves are green and have a gentle, special smell. I chop them into small pieces, then mix them with eggs to make fried eggs with lolot leaves. This is a very simple dish, but it is familiar to many families in the countryside. Then I crack a few eggs into a bowl. I add the chopped lolot leaves, a little seasoning, and stir everything together until the eggs and leaves are well mixed. It is a very simple step, but I always like this part. The yellow color of the eggs and the green color of the leaves make the dish look very fresh before it even goes into the pan. After that, I heat the pan and add a little cooking oil. When the oil is hot enough, I pour the egg mixture in slowly. The sound of the eggs touching the hot pan is small, but very familiar. The edges start to turn golden, and the smell of lollard leaves begins to spread through the kitchen. This is not a fancy dish, but it is one of those simple foods that many Vietnamese families know well. Just a few eggs, some fresh lollard leaves, and a little time by the stove. For me, that is enough to make lunch feel warm and comforting. Before I have lunch, I feed Lucky first. He is a corgi, so he eats quite well. If I give him too much, he will probably finish everything without hesitation. But corgis can gain weight easily, so I try to control his portions. For each meal, I only give him a small amount, just enough for him to enjoy, but not too much. After feeding him, I can finally sit down and have my own lunch. Thank you for joining me today. I know there are many videos you could be watching right now, so I truly appreciate you spending a few quiet minutes here with me. Today was just a simple day in the countryside, a morning walk, a small market, a simple lunch, and a few ordinary moments at home. Nothing special, but this is the kind of life I want to share on this channel. Slow, simple, and real. I hope this video brought you a little peace wherever you are. Until next time, I wish you a calm and peaceful week, and I'll see you again soon.